Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream of mine. Today I'm intent to finish up what I started yesterday, the dialogue system. I didn't have much time yesterday, so I kinda just threw something together. Didn't work, but I didn't expect either to be working from the spot on. Still, I did some decent working on my dialogue system, which won't be many in my game, but for this particular level, I actually need one. And yesterday I started to work on it just a bit, and then I needed to go. Apart from me streaming, developing a game, studying game design and production, I'm also doing a sport. I'm a fencer with swords and the white clothes. And I had a training yesterday, and I needed to go there. But I haven't really stopped thinking about where my approach went wrong, and I think I found a solution. We will see today in this stream if I was right or not. Because I think I know what I need to do about it. I think I realized what needs to be done regarding of my implementation. So let's get to it. I I changed a bit. I changed the code just a bit, just a tiny bit, basically. Not much. I came back yesterday, and I just adjusted actually two of my functions. So if you remember from yesterday what I was doing, I created functions for adding a widget to the screen, and these are the functions: a name box for the speaker names, a remove name box function, and an add text box. The difference is today, and what I've done last night, I had only one function for the name box and the text box, and I realized this is not what I needed. So I split them into two functions. I have a name box to add, and I also have a text box to add. You see, on this function, I declared some variables, so I can edit them and update them as I need them. Same with the text box, with the full text. I have a variable, and I can assign and update it when I need to update it. The idea behind this thing is to showing the text box, showing the name box, update it with text, and then just remove it from the screen. There is better ways and better approaches and better systems to implement, but for my own game, for Demon's Sword, this is the kind of simplified, maybe not too efficient way to implement. I decided to do that because I won't have many dialogues in my games. I won't have many conversations in my games. So putting things on tick for the dialogue system in this particular case, let me stress that in this particular case it's fine because it's gonna be run on one level, only one level, and I probably won't use it. And on this level, and this is, I think, the main selling point to putting this thing into tick, I won't have anything else on tick. Not really. Like maybe one thing yeah, I think I only use tick in the blueprint. And just for this. So it's efficient in that way. If you would developing let's say a novel, a visual novel, yeah, my approach is not really for you, but still the implementation of things and the way I'm doing it, you can, you know, get some ideas. So what I was thinking yesterday, that I'm gonna need an initial conversation. So initially I need to put the name box and the text box on screen to start off the conversation. And then on tick, I can check if the conversation ended. And if it ended, then I can remove the name box. And if that's not there anymore, I can basically just update it. And the way I'm going to update it is with math, actually. I'm going to use an integer and just an updating number to keep track of the lines. Let's see how it's done. So I'm gonna show where we are at the moment. So this runs, there's gonna be text. We only have debugging right now, so it, you know, it doesn't take time. It's here, and then we get this text. And that's it just now. So when the characters moves into this trigger box, which is the blueprint for the trigger box, you can see when something begin overlap, and that something is the actual character there. When it begins to overlap to it, I just set the max speed, walk speed to 0, because on the office map I actually add movement input to that character. So when it hits it, it just sets the walk speed to 0, so it stops. And then I just wait a bit, so the text won't, you know, immediately comes on. So I let the character basically stop for a while, for 1 second in this particular sense. And then I just add the name box and the text box. And these are functions. So here we are. This is the logic. So I just create the widget. I store it in a variable and then add to the viewport. Same for the name box. Create the widget, set in a variable and add it to the viewport. The remove name one is a bit different. I'm just basically checking if it's valid, if the name box, so that widget, is valid. Then I'm checking if it's still visible, because there is a visibility set inside the widget's code. And if it's not visible anymore, then I'm just removing from the parent completely. But I need, before I actually check these on tick, which means that I'm checking things on every frame, I need to, let's put that way, initialize stuff here. So I'm adding it on begin overlap. And yeah, I'm just gonna create, I'm just gonna promote this to a variable, and that's gonna be the name text MPC. Maybe there's a better way to call it. And name color of the MPC. just keep this nice and tidy. The subtitle text. I could create a variable here, but I'm not going to, because I just leave it like that so I can check it if it works just now. Because I'm not going to use strings. Strings are these purple things, and these are just basically text. But to actually know which lines comes, I'm going to have like a list. You can compare that to like an Excel sheet. So imagine that you have a spreadsheet in an Excel document, and line by line, A1, B1, B2, stuff like that. You have all those lines. I am going to have something similar in Unreal. It's called an enumerator. So I already have an enumerator for the skills. So if I open this up, you see it's just a list, basically. This is just a list. This is the display name. This is actually what shows on the screen, and just a description for that. Mozart, hi there. Welcome to the stream. How are you today? I'm just explaining the content of this stream today. Yeah, and because that I'm going to have the list, I'm going to need the enumerator, and the variable is going to tie to that enumerator. So right now I'm just keeping it like it is. And now, after this done and showed on screen, I create the tick. Haven't. And hopefully it won't be a spaghetti. I didn't know you can do 2D games in Unreal. Haha, yeah. That's the whole thing about my project. If you haven't watched me before, my name is Ben. Nice to meet you, Mozart. I'm a game design student at Alberta University in Scotland, and I'm developing a 2D game in Unreal Engine because this is my honors project. And the honors project is a year-long project, basically our final biggest portfolio piece. And it's not just a simple, task where you sit down and develop a game. It has to be backed up with research. And my field is, it has two main objectives. Basically a main and a sub objectives. The main objective is to create a game that is originated from the 90s. So beat 'em ups, hack and slash, first hack and slash, like Devil May Cry, consider the first hack and slash game. The first game in 2001 for the PS2. And I'm just exploring how can I make something like game mechanics from the 90s to implement today's standards, so we can still play them. Because if you ever play the game that is 20 years old, it's just a struggle, because genres evolved, we got used to so many things. But if you look into those games from, I don't know, a year ago, 5 years ago, everything that you see is actually rooted from games before, because they built together. We played Magic Sword. Magic Sword is a beat 'em up, kind of a hack and slash, but it didn't call hack and slash for the Super Nintendo. And then you played Devil May Cry, then you played Nier, you played, I'm just listing hack and slash games just now. What hack and slash do we have here? Bayonetta, stuff like that, and everything added something to the genre. But the tropes of hack and slash games are actually being established back in the 90s, late 80s. And it's a really interesting subject for me to actually try to just take all those things that we had in the 90s and make it as authentic as possible, but playable as possible as well for players today, like a 20 years old guy or girl. And that's the main objective of my project. The other one is art and how to make um, an older game or an older style, like a pixel art game, really appealing today. And for that, I can actually show it to you before I dive into this. So I decided to go HD 2D. HD 2D is a technique that Square Enix used on Octopath Traveler. Basically, you have 2D sprites in a 3D environment. And the control is 3D as well. So that's how it would look if we start to play the game. I actually have like a prologue, like the beginning of the game. So I have a 2D sprite, a character here, against a backdrop that is a fully 3D environment. And on later levels, you can actually move in 3D with this character. And that's actually a technical thing. Unreal, you are right. Unreal doesn't really cut for 2D games. There are many things that I needed to change and find some workarounds or just plain out, develop something, implement something that just works the way I intended to. Yeah, it's been a challenge and it's been a journey as well. Also, in my game, sprites will have like reflections, shadows, stuff like that. So it just appealing. And this is plainly from Octopath Traveler. I never really played the game because when it came out, and never really had the time to actually complete 8-character story. But I always admired the visual, and that's why I picked Octopath Traveler. Looks cool, thanks. Thank you. Don't mind that part. The camera and stuff is not set up for a continuous plays just now. I'm debugging the office map, so that's why I have like a temporary player start and camera position. How comes you choose Unreal? I picked Unreal yeah, valid question, very valid questions. 2D games, we associate 2D games with Unity, yeah? Because it just handles so well. But I needed the visuals for this game. I really needed the lighting system of Unreal Engine. I really needed the 3-dimensional objects of Unreal and how it actually handles 3D objects. So if it would be just a 2D game or not a technical experimentation of how to implement something like that, I might have gone with Unreal Unity, sorry. But I actually needed the challenge. And that's the main reason. Also, Octopath Traveler was developed in Unreal Engine as well. So there are examples of 2D games, pixel art, not pixel art, 2D games developed in Unreal Engine. It's possible. It just really, I wouldn't say hard. You just need to sit down and understand what you're doing, basically, and really know how to handle things in Unreal. But it's possible. So visual, that's the main thing, visuals. That's why I went with Unreal Engine. I'm actually also into game dev, but I can't choose between Unreal and Unity. I want to do some 2D too, but mainly want to focus in 3D. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I know. It's hard. It's hard. If you want to focus on 3D, I would definitely recommend Unreal Engine, even though I don't like Unreal Engine. Don't get me wrong, I don't like it. if you want to develop something really, really efficiently in Unreal, you need to use C++. That's the only way. The blueprint system, the visual scripting system, is great. It's really good for prototyping. It's really good for game designers to quickly throw something together and just to test it out. And if you're good at it, actually you can make it nice and not look like a spaghetti, what we call it in the industry. But it's hard. It's hard to maintain the tidiness of it. I'm really proud because I think I can. Just have a look on my character blueprint. I have a lot of code here, like a lot. But I tend to be clean and tidy as possible. So I'm even for my own work. I work on this game on my own. But even working on my own, I like to be tidy. I like to comment things out and just make it look nice, because it's just easier to come back after, I don't know, a couple of weeks, because I'm gonna need to work on this soon again. And I haven't touched the character's blueprint in like 2 months, I guess. You will be shocked, but I hate BP and love C++. C++ actually. Good. That's good. That's really good. I didn't like blueprints either at the beginning, but then I started to use C++, and then suddenly I realized how good the two things together. I hated Unreal Blueprints on its own, I hated C++ on its own, but when I started to do the math and all that related to physics or something that needs to be calculated, I've written in C++, exposed them to blueprints, and then I assembled my framework in blueprints, and it works really well. And that's what you should do as well, because as a programmer, if you are a programmer, you want your work to be accessed by the designers. And designers, most of the designers, they don't understand code. They understand this. They can work with that. So when you write your code, you just expose them to be able to see them in blueprints and make changes to the variables as well. So a designer can come in and say, okay, I have the framework, so I'm just dropping these nodes down, I'm changing these values and test it out if it works or not, or how it works. The thing with Unity is I lost trust because of the last action. Yeah, like many of us. Yeah. Same here. I like Unity. I actually developed how many games? 3, 4? Like not full games, but vertical slices for university in Unity, and I really liked it. C# is actually a really easy language, probably the easiest to learn when you never had coding experience before. There are plenty of tutorials to get started on that. Unity's documentation is excellent, so if you're stuck, you just, search something in the documentation, and you will have, a solution or resolution for your problem pretty quickly, compared to Unreal's documentation, which is shite. And yeah, Unity's last action, well, it didn't help the company, and actually many people started to use Godot, but we need to wait at least 2-3 years, I think, to see how that engine works under a game, like under a fully released, fully developed game. 2-3 years is always like a good measure. When Unreal 5 came out, we waited the same year, because sure, Unreal 5 came out 2-3 years ago and everyone wanted an Unreal 5 game immediately. What they don't realize, most players don't realize, that games takes time and you can't just transfer everything from Unreal 4 to 5. That's not how it works. You actually need to work with Unreal Engine, and that takes some years. You hate Godot script. I never really used Godot. I think maybe second year, between first and second year, or between second and third year, I wanted to develop a card game, and I found like an open sourced project files, project basically for a card game, and that was the time when I actually used Godot for like a couple weeks, but I couldn't really figure out, and I wasn't that passionate about that card game either, so I dropped it really quickly. I don't know, many people started to use it. It's strange for me when an engine can be used in many programming languages, can be used for 2D, 3D. It's always like, okay, but aren't you specialized in something? So being a jack of all trades is good, but on the other hand, it's like, I don't know, you're master of nothing. I don't want to say anything wrong about Godot though, because I never used it, so it might be good, it might not. If someone has more experience, then please share. So really, I've never really used it. Just my opinion, and it might be wrong. So yeah, today I'm doing a dialogue system for my game, because as you've seen, if I just open up the office maps levels, office map. So after this cutscene, kind of cutscene here, you are presented by the character and another NPC that comes into your office, and there's gonna be a conversation between them. And I think you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, but this is going to be like the only place where you have a dialogue like that. So I give myself permission to implement not as effective and efficient as it should be, but because it's just one level, I allow myself to actually use the tick, event tick, and checking things on every frame. It's like Blender when they was new, I mean. That's the thing about Blender. Blender is great because it's free. But unfortunately, it's not industry standard. It should be, but it's not. Why? That's a question for an artist. I had 2D, 3D modules during my years at Alberti, and I'm not an artist. That's the most polite thing to say about myself. I can make 3D art. It just takes me a lot of time. So I rather let someone who is more talented in that doing it for me or for the game. For example, in third year, we had a professional project, and it was actually put together in a way where 8 of us worked together on a game for 13 weeks. And we had artists, we had programmers, we had designers, and a producer in that group. And there's a reason for that, because as a person in the game industry, you won't be doing everything. That's why being a solo developer is, you know, a bit of a mix. Like, it's nice to have all these skills, but it takes a long time if you really do everything on your own. Like in this project, I'm a technical designer, so I can come up with mechanics and I can implement them. And I could do art, but I decided not to because that's not my focus. So all these art that you can see, these are free assets that I've acquired. Not all of them are free, but some of them actually paid as well. I just it, it wasn't feasible for me to say, yeah, I'm going to do all the arts. Um that's it. That's the reason. Yeah, true. Anyway, I'm going to watch a few videos of Unity and Unreal to choose finally. Thanks for the conversation. I subscribe. Thanks for the subscribe. Have fun. If you need any help with that, or if you struggle to find like good tutorials, especially on Unreal, send me a message or hop back to another stream and I can send you some sources because I was struggling with Unreal and tutorials for Unreal as well. Unity got some decent ones, so you should be alright. Thanks again, and see you later. So back to this event tick. Now that we have a initial name box and text box, I want to check if um first of all, I think I'm gonna need a boolean because I need to know if this is if it started or not because of the weight and stuff. So this boolean is gonna be false up until this point. And because it's true now I can start checking things. So I can say that if this true, then do something. I probably need a sequence, I just don't know when. But the things I want to check first and foremost is if the conversation text box, the whole thing, this is visible. Because if it's not visible anymore, then I don't is visible. Is visible. Here we are. Because if it's visible, if it's not visible, sorry, if it's not visible anymore, where do I want to put this one? Like this? Yeah, like that. So if it's not visible anymore, then I don't need it, so I need to remove it. And that's when my handy function comes in. So I need to remove so I have to check if the conversation box is visible and valid. And I need to remove the name box, the name text box. Not that. Need to remove this from the screen. Yeah. And I think I need the sequence here. So that should be the first thing that just runs all the time. Let's see if it works. So we should see that after the conversation ends or that line ends, it just disappears. Yes, exactly. Cool. And if it disappears, again, I need to check that. So I can check if there's nothing on the screen, because there is nothing on the screen after that, then I just want to add a name box and a text box. So I want to add a name box and a text box, like that. If it's false, if it's not visible. And because I want to update these later, I'm just going to promote them to a variable, name text and name color. And then I will set these variables here depending on which line I have. And it should give me some, it should be just that. That's all I need. I'm still not doing the subtitle text here because I will need an enum for that, like I said before. But that should be the whole code for that, to be honest. Let's just put a 2 here, and if I compile, I can say X and the color. Where is that other color? Have it somewhere here. Yeah. Blue. So right now it should work in a way where I just have the debugging, and after the debugging, I have the initial conversation going on, the first one. And when it disappears from the screen, it just adds a new yes. And it just adds and adds and adds and adds. That's fine on the loop. At some point, I need to figure out how to stop it, but I think I can do that. But now it's just looping. And if I make a variable here, I can update that variable depending on the line. I just need a way to track where we are. And that's where the enum comes in. So I create an enum called, what is it? Where's the enum? It's not input. What should be? Not utility. Not an interf loop. Loop? Yes, okay. So E conversations. Prologue conversations. I might have more. Prologue conversations. Prologue conversation? Yeah, sure. And I have a couple of texts here. So I have the first one. But I'm not gonna use the first one because the first one is the initial. So I need the second. I just add 3. Second, the third. Yeah, by the way, I already have a written draft for all these dialogues. So I was working on it last week. Last week? Yeah, I guess last week. Description can stay, so it's fine. I just put this up there. And now I can pretty much just add the first text here, because the first one shouldn't be in the enum, because this is just an initial thing. And I'm actually going to comment this like initializing, if I can. Initial. Is that how you? Is it? Yeah. Okay. It doesn't like. Yeah. Thank you. Spelling. As a international student, sometimes I have trouble spelling English words, especially if it's like initializing. So bring the conversation. So that's the start of the conversation, basically. Okay. But here, though, I need Dana. Conversation lines. Sure. And this is going to be an enum, so I just yes. Conversation. Doesn't look right. Does look right. Okay. Perfect. So these are having, like you see, this is like a list. That's why I want to use enums, because anything I put in here, it's gonna be in this list. This is just, you know, a collection of things. And I can just, if I could just tell my engine to, when this is done, move on to the next, that would be the whole thing. So I can't really hook this up. I mean, I can, it just yeah, it's smart, so it's already converting that for a enum to string. And that's the whole code here. Now the math part of things, which is yeah, let me think. I'm gonna need an integer for the current conversation text. I'm gonna need this, and it's probably going to be another sequence later on. But I'm gonna need a current conversation. I'm gonna need the next conversation text. And a conversation line count. Conversation text. So let's try to, so current conversation line, next conversation line, and the line count. Okay, let me think. How can I do this if I'm thinking about math? I take the count and I'm just gonna add or increment it. Actually, so incrementing something or add one, these are the same thing. It just looks better in code. And then I set this to that. I actually just add one. So I don't have to like this. And I add this to here. Something's not right. I mean, yeah, this should work. I just add one here as well, so this starts and then it's 2, because 0, then it's 1, 0 to 1, 1 to 2. Yeah, I think. But that's why we have a print string. So I can check this. So I'm just gonna use one print string here. Yeah, just from print string. And I'm gonna take the counter. Let's call it counter. Oops. Counter. I am going to take that thing. Ugh, don't have enough space. Down, no, up here. So I'm gonna just put this one here and actually make it like that. And just to be, I don't know, a bit tidier, I can put this one there. Yeah, sure, like this. It'll be up here. So yeah, it's nicer. So when the conversation started, it should add +1 to this counter. So now we have the print. That's 1. And it's the manually added line. This is the first item on the list. and it just gives 1 again. And it's actually, yeah, it counts 3. All right, now we have a way to keep track of how many times things appeared on the screen. Great. For this to work, I actually need to set it back. So because this adds 1 before the whole thing, I need to set this is hard. I need to set this to the line text for the current one, not like that set. That's alt. Yeah, because that's the line like this. Okay, so I take the counter, set it to the line, but it's not line text though, it's like line number. So which line we are on? And I need to do this because I need to compare these two. So I'm setting the counter before it adds 1 to it. So when this happens here, 0 to 1. And then I set the line number to 1, and this happens. And when this ends, it sets it to, and then another one. Yeah, and then I can actually compare the two number. Oh, all right. Because now I can do things like branch, taking the current and the line count, and just actually say if this is actually greater than that one, just the other way around. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. If it's true, then do something. So I take that one here. Let's put there. There. And here. Which here. Okay. All right. Take the whole thing to this. Close that. Okay. So if it's bigger, let's say I take the name text and the name color and set it to let's just duplicate. So name text player, name color player, and if I get these, and if I compile and Celine with a E, yeah, Celine, yeah. Um, in the name color, okay. So initially we have this as an NPC and a color, and we have just put this to default colors. That's why I wanted like a variable, because I want to update these variables depending on which line we are. And it's because a number, it's just gonna be back and forth, isn't it? That's the way I 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1. Well, if it's back and forth, then I can, it's gonna be different on odd and even numbers on this. There's a way to tell if the number is odd or even. So I can do the same thing. NPC and color. NPC color. I still need to figure out like something, how I wanna call my NPC. Still don't know. Let's put this one here and that one. Yeah, like this. So if this is true, crap. This whole thing needs to calm down like that. All right. That's odd. It's fine. The line number. Yeah, let me do a quick search on that, because I'm pretty sure I can check somehow if it's odd or not. So there's a node called what? Modulus? Modulus? Modulus. And it needs to be set to, and then I need to check if the modulus the return of the modulus is greater than 0. All right, modulus, and need to check if it's greater than 0. I have no idea what modulus is. Not gonna lie. I really don't know. It was like the first thing on Google search. I wonder if this works. So I got the yeah, okay. So the first text should be the NPC and the second one's the player characters, and then just switching. Okay. Excuse me. NPC again. NPC again. And NPC again. Okay. What? So I'm checking if the line and number and the line counter, if the line counter is bigger, and if it's true, then I check the line and number, do this thing. Oh, not 2, 0, sorry. Again. So the first one should be NPC. Okay. And the second one should be the player. It's the NPC again. It changes. Okay. An NPC now. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I just need to switch this up. So that one at the top is the NPC and the NPC color. And this is the, sorry, the player and the player color. So it starts with the NPC because of the initial conversation. Then switch to player character's name and color, and switches back to the NPC name and color. Yeah. Great. Cool. Uh, that's there. Perfect. Uh, now I need to know. Now I need to change this. And so I might just do another sequence here, because I want to change this, and yeah, okay. So I'll just take the whole thing down like that next to this. We can change that first. That's okay. Yeah, make it like that. Why is it not aligning with that? Text. Set name. Okay. This This is just freaking odd. Color. Yeah. You see, I am pretty tidy. I like things to be tidy. Actually put back. Control C, Control V. Up here, there, and just change it to layer, layer color, layer color. Right, so it's up there, layer, layer. That's this conversation started very up there, and that's the line and it counts. Okay. Might need more space, not sure yet. But I definitely need more. No, I actually don't need more sequence up there because I want to check this up here. So obviously I want this to be incremented. So plus, no. Okay. I need, yeah, I need an integer, only an integer. Like an actual number can be incremented. So plus. All right. So adds 1. And I set it back. Integer. Ah, all right. Can I have this on the other way around? No. I honestly have no idea. So, because I don't know, I'm just gonna drink something. Where is my drink? I need this node, but the other way around. Watch this value. Okay, no. Enum to string, enum to name. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that, yeah, yes. Okay, cool. Should this work? So this is the one that I manually added. All right. Search. Let's search. Um, enum to string. No. How to get the next item in Unreal. Oh, there's a Reddit post. Okay. So, question. In BP, how can I increment an enum to its next possible value? Yes, that's what I need. Seems like a node for each respect the order. You can do something like this. Convert the enum to int. Yeah, we are already doing that. Cool. Increment. Alright. Apply the modulus separator. What? You can do something like this. Convert the enum to int, increment, convert, increment, apply the modulus operator. Okay. And convert it back to the enum. There's an image for this here. Alright, so there's a modulus and there's another node. Get number of entries in. Okay. Get number. Wow. Okay. Get number of entries in here. And then this should go to convert these back. Yeah, I can give it a try. And then this should add this too. Well, alright. And before I tidy it up, I actually tried. If it works, I give an up to this. So that's the one that I manually added. Glances, yes, okay. It does work. Cool. That's nice. Alright, text too much, so I need to make it wider. Code you say, more layers. Oh, and it starts all over again. That's okay. I don't mind if it does that. I'm gonna put a stop somewhere. Just saying when. So when I have all of this, I can count the lines, and when that, I think at least, and when where is it? This line number reaches something, then I just stop. I just stop the whole thing. And should do the trick. Okay, that doesn't even look that bad to me. Nice. Okay, let's tidy this up. So just make sure these things are aligned. And I put this one here. There. Even like this. And then just like that. Can't I just put it on there? Yeah, that looks better. Maybe one up. There. Okay. This works. So let's again. So yeah, it starts with the initial that we manually added. By the look of it. So yeah, by the look of it, that's the first. The glances up unimpressed is the next one. Glances up and its size. Well, appearance is, yeah. All right. And that's all I have right now in the list. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Then I just add all these. This is the next one. So that goes there. That goes here. Well, I'm so happy that I written this in that way where it goes back and forth between the two characters, because without that the odd and even numbers wouldn't work. So this is the next one. Crosses her arm, nods, and it starts. Yeah, okay. So that one. Just smirks, okay. And relaxes. So that's 9. Let's see the number. It should be 9. Might take some time. Wait. I didn't watch. Sorry. I was. Sorry. I didn't check. I actually put this like that. Yeah, no. Thank you. So entering the office, and this is the first. Let's start all over again. So I can see everything. So the first one, entering the office. Okay. It goes to this immediately. Crosses her arm. And it actually stops. And just stop the whole thing. Oh, of course. No, why? 1, 2, 3. Oh, because it's an odd number. So it tries to find an odd number. So I need to implement that part. No, because no, it just, if one is bigger, let's just take this off. Let's see what the heck is happening here. So 1, 2, yeah. Because by the look of the code, it should just add 1. And just add 1 to the line. Right, then let's not increment, but actually add 1. And when we add 1, okay, then this whole thing goes here. All right, let's try this. We add 1, we do this. Is this right? So we take that, we add 1 to it, then we take the modulus, convert back to line text, conversation line text, and this is conversation line text as well. Okay. So we take the initial, we add 1 to it, and it suddenly jumps here. But why? And it stops here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Glances up, unimpressed. You don't look like much either. And it stops here. Let's go back. Because that was working with 3. 3 of them. One, two, three. Entering, glances up. Okay. Would say, I'm all ears. Okay. So if I add an 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2. 1, 2. Save, save. The only thing is not saved is the office. That's just fine. So entering. Then I should glance it up. Glances it up. Unimpressed. And it stops. Right? Purposes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I did it all. 1, 2. Aha! Alright. Let's see. That's gonna be it. 7 already. Yeah. What the heck? Save. Is this just an Unreal bug? Right, I just save it, and I just restart the project. Okay. Let's restart it. Alexa, turn on the living room.
Okay.
Can't see. Okay, project is back. 8, 9, 10. So if I just add now, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3. 5. Set 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. And I save this, and everything is set. Yeah. Okay. Not that map though. Let's open up the office map. Okay. So we got the initial, but then I just need 10. Crap. It's fine. I hope. So we got 1. No, we got 5. Then 8. Then 11. 6. 9. 1. 4. 7. 10. 5. Again. So this is 5, 8, 11, 6, 9, 1, 4, 7, 10, and 5 again. What kind of order is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's just 9 anyway. Seven, 10. So we got 5, 8, 11, 6, 9, 1, 4, 7, 10. And is it the same all the time or randomly picking something new? Five. Okay. Out of curiosity, I'm gonna start this in Simulate. No, sorry. As a standalone. As a standalone game. Five. Okay. Um. Oh, maybe because it wasn't one. Maybe it was just picking randomly. 5. No, it's still not the same. What did it say on Reddit again? So let me just go back there. Question. Uh, so there's a for each solution as well. It says the same here. So I have the line text converted to an integer, adding one to it. And this is actually the enum. Prologue conversation, yeah. Then we convert it to the byte and byte to this and set it. Maybe what? Okay, let's create a test one, and I just set it to byte, and I get that to there, and set this like that. Wait, that's where I went wrong. That I'm actually using the same thing. Oh, stop. I do this on here as well. I'm not there. Okay. And it's still like 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. It starts a different order. Any ideas? And there's actually a 0 as well. And I don't have 0 in here. So it's not the text one. At least we know that. Because that wouldn't give me that thing here. So cat enum to string. Or maybe put it in the wrong way. No, only if this life it's bigger than add. Yeah, that's fine. I find them in crazy ways if I really want to. So you want to do something. You want to iterate to reach enum until you reach the end. In his method, he's adding 1 to x, keeping it in the bounds of the enum value. Should recover if you define enum value that's not regular. method will break down since they won't be a nice linear set of predictable numbers. That being said, there is no real way in C++ domain to check the element in an enum list, so you will either need to hard code it or do it this way. So before I start thinking about making a game, I should study C++ or any programming language by Harvard. Not necessarily. In my experience, the best way to learn is to actually start doing a thing. I wouldn't start with C++ though. If you are thinking about solely just developing games, then I would recommend to you to start with Unity and C Sharp. Even though Unity has some things now because of recent events, it's still a really great engine. It's still something that you should learn and should know how to use. And I recommending C Sharp over C++ because C Sharp it's just easier to get into. And if you don't have any coding experience, you really want to understand the basics of programming languages, like how they work, what's the logic behind them, how you should read and write code. That's what we've done at university as well. We started with Unity, then moved to Unreal Engine because Unreal Engine has this visual scripting tool, and it's a bit different. And actually, it's really hard to read how these codes are being executed if you don't know the programming language, certain programming languages, logic and the flow of logic. Also, there are really great tutorials on Unity. You can get like one full course even on YouTube as well. Just type in on YouTube how to make a 2D game in Unity, and you will have a full playlist going through the language, assets, animations, level design, stuff like that. That would be my suggestion to you. You can start with this as well. I think it's harder that way. So for this, since they won't build in his method should work. However, if you define an enum value that is not regular, the method will break down. To the index of the bit flag in the mask. Key package. That's just the description, content browser, that doesn't matter. Sign this text a key and allow it to be gathered for localization. If set false, marks this text as to prevent being for localization. Okay. I have another idea. I'll be back in a sec, just refill my drinks, but I actually have an idea for this. Thank you, mate. I subscribed. Thank you, Harvan. I'm trying to put together a dialogue system, so if you don't mind staying and if you're interested, right now I have a problem that I try to solve. I just need something to drink because I've been talking for a couple hours now. I'll be back in a sec. All right. Did you ever try to make a Half-Life mod? Um, Half-Life using Source Engine, and while I didn't make any mods for Half-Life, when I was really young, about 15, 14, 13, I think, um, I was making mods for Jedi Outcast. That's Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which is the sequel for the Jedi Outcast. And both games are using Source engines, and I was making mod for that game. So while not Half-Life, I was using Source engine for modding. Yeah. And that's actually a really great way to get into game design, game development, just making mods. Because if you can understand someone else's code, engines, the way it works, and you can modify it, it's basically the same thing when you're doing it from scratch. The thing with me is, and I don't want to be annoying, I'm a hardware guy, but I really want to make a great game that is linked to BioShock, so I don't want to dive too much into programming and game developing. That's why I'm lost. I totally feel you, man. Uh, Making a game from scratch is long. It's like, especially if you're a solo developer, like me working on this project. I'm not doing it because I want to. All right, that sounds bad. I'm in school, so I'm studying game design and production, and this is my honors project, my last year's big project. And I just decided to stream the development of it. But I totally feel you, like when you when you just want to make something that actually has some shared mechanics, even 3D, 2D assets. You don't really want to implement everything on your own. You just want to work within a framework. There's a solution for you. Not the best, not the greatest, but Unreal recently released a kind of a, let me call it a spin-off engine that is tied to Fortnite. Hear me out. Basically, that Unreal Engine for Fortnite, that's the name of it, Unreal Engine for Fortnite, is using implemented mechanics of Fortnite, and you will get a lot of assets from that game as well that you can use. And you can make games, new game modes, new games within Fortnite. While it's not I understand that's not what you are after, but just to start and see how this work is actually looks like when you're doing it, and if you have, you know, the patience, if you're actually interested in this on the long run, it might be a good idea to actually try that out. And in the meantime, back to my stuff. So, because Unreal is shitting on me, excuse me my language, I have two solutions for this. The first one is a bit of a thing. So I just create a new enumerator here. Call it P conversation. So prologue conversation, and this is a brand new one, and I'm just gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 10 because it starts with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. I save it. I don't even need this one. Go back here. I delete this one. I create a new test. Well, I should have, well, doesn't matter. And I just code p conversation back in here and save it. Oh wow. Okay. So thank you. I'm gonna check the, yeah, okay. And I take that to test. I set to aha. There's been a problem. Yeah, you see? You see? This works, but that doesn't. Okay. So I want to convert this to that. So I need bytes, and from bytes to that. And hopefully this will give me the right order of things. So the first conversation is the one I manually added, as I said it before. And now we should see enum 0. Okay. That's fine. So that's not it. I still have ideas to solve this annoying problem. So let's go back. So it's not that one. That's why I just want to go back where I was. Come on. Okay, save it. Delete the test one and delete p compile and save. And then I can delete because it's just a memory reference now. Open this up back. So we have 1 till 11. I can try this, but I am actually not sure what it does. But I can give it a try. Sometimes when you're facing a problem like this, even though you don't know what it does, you just try out things. That's the whole game development, really. Trying out things. See what works, see what doesn't. 5. Then 8. Okay. So that's not it. Wow. If I go back to my warrior, I was dealing with enumerators here with the skills. So add unique, switch on, and they do something. I have an array here. Okay. If I create function call it defining conversation lines. Define conversation lines. Define conversation lines. Okay. I can take this. I can switch. I have all of these here. And I can pretty much put it up there because it's gonna be long. Get an integer, another one, an int. Let's call it definitive conversation lines number, line number, definitive conversation line number, one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. It's gonna look bad, but because Unreal, I need to hard code that if I want to use the method I'm using for my dialogue system. So in that way, I am defining and assigning an integer to each of these tables, each of these lines, basically. And then if I come back to the event graph, so if it's one more, adding to it, and then when it's true, do that, take this, basically do the same. So when I was a child, we studied Scratch in school. It has the same concept of this. Yeah. If this line number equals to the current, so if these two numbers, because these two numbers should be not the same. I need to hard code. I don't believe it. I need to hard code this shit. Okay. So start with line number 2. Good, that's 2. Okay. So I have to start here with number 2 because that's the first. Okay. But I need to increment that as well. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. I can do that though. So take this, do an integer, and set the integer to integer. Set this to that. Okay. Um. One integer. No. So I have 11. Hmm. Okay, before that, I am going to try out one thing. Which is crap. I'm not gonna lie, it's just crap. Um, I deleted it already. Yeah. Okay. So, how many numbers does it give me? And does it change? That's my whole thing. Does it change? And how can I check if it's changed? Because what I could try to do is to make a list of this. So 5, 8, again, okay, 5, 8, 11, 6, 9, 1, 4, 7, and it goes back to 5. Yeah, yeah. Um, so 5, 8, and I might be able to figure out somehow 11, 6, 9, 6, 9, 1, 4, 1, 4, 7, 10, 1, 4, 7, 10, and 2 of them are missing, 2 and 3. Yeah. The game visually looks good, actually. Thanks. Thank you. And now I'm just gonna rename source 5, source 8. So the key is 36B, E8, 4B, 9C. It doesn't make sense to me. Package DF, DF, DFF, DFE, DFEV. Is it the same number? I'm just trying to figure out how it gets the order of things. Because now, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J. And now it starts with 2 and B. Yeah, it says that if you define an enum value that is not a regular, this method will break down since they won't be in a nice linear set of predictable numbers. That being said, there is no real way to check the elements in an enum list. I'm looking at the tutorial kind of things. All right. Okay. Okay. Get number of entries. Breaks it. This is Devlog section. This is called so. And unique. Just add array. Let's variable. Find I'm trying to follow a tutorial here. Find an item. Get the length. Find an item. Add one. Conversation line text. It's completed. Where am I? Okay. I have this clear. I have that one clear. I have this there too. Then I have to find, and yeah, I add one to it that goes into this. The length goes there. I have get here. Get. 1, 2 goes here, another one goes there. And then I need a return node. This one goes here. That one goes here. Next enum. Can praise default value new generator. Okay. Have no idea what this does, but so it says on Reddit you can use that to make a temp array list and manage it from there. Seems like node respects the order of enum. Take this. A. Then it runs +1. +1. So instead of this whole thing, I just set this. So A, B, C. If I don't do this, because B, that adds 1. So if I do the whole thing of that, in here, and just take that set. Um, that one goes there, and that one goes there. And then I will try to understand. That's how I learn 100% of the time. I do something on just following a tutorial or just copying a tutorial. Then I go into the code and I try to understand what the heck I just written, basically. It's a B. It's a B again. No. Okay. Oh, crap. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Hi, nickname. You asked me how many hours a day do you devote to development? Too many. That's my honest answer. I always try to set some stuff in, you know, under construct or structure. But then I am facing problems like this, like what I'm doing right now, which is honestly the things I was doing was going so smooth. I've already got like rolling numbers on the names. I'm getting newer and newer widget every time, and now I'm stuck on displaying the lines on them. So probably about 7 hours. Huh. I can start with 2 here. I might don't need this at all, because then I just take this. If it's equal, then set the lines text to the lines number and convert it back to the lines text. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to pick another approach here, and then if it won't work, then I'm just gonna do what I usually do in this kind of situations. I leave it to rest a day or two and just kinda let my intuition work in the background. The new approach is going to be instead of using an enumeration, I'm gonna use text strings, so strings, and try to define the strings and basically just connect a string. I can't even speak anymore. Connect a string to a number, and then by the number as it goes up, it should give different strings, just as we do with the name strings. Let's see if it works. I'm warning you guys, this is going to look really, really bad. But don't say I didn't warn you. Two. And I have one more. So entering. Okay. And then I'm just going to call the function here. Well, okay. So instead of a function, then can I just do all these? I'm just gonna close that and delete. Still there. Can oh, compile again. 68 reference. Where? Where is it still here? Oh, on this thing. No, it's not here anymore. Then where is it? Yeah. Now we can delete it. Okay. Subtitle text. Subtitle text. Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2. So it does twice. Oh yeah, it does twice. Because I might just want to delete that one. Take line one there. Text, and start with these. I think it works. So it's entering the office, then entering the office again. I have to check why. And then it glances. So I'm checking the conversation line counter. But I actually maybe I need to check the line number, current line number. Well, it does work. Almost. So we have subtitle line 1 there, subtitle line 1 there. That's line 2, and then counter is 2. It should be this one to be 2. So this is the manually added. This just again entering the office. Entering the office 3 again. And glances up. So I don't really understand why. Line 2, line 3, line 4, 1, 2. The line counter. Checking the line counter. If okay, that's why. So she's entering the office, and now it should turn into Celine's correct. Yes. Oh, fuck me. Works. So if I take this stuff and put it into a function, just to not get that in the event graph, because it just looks terrible. Still works, yeah. Oh crap! Finally. Okay. Good. Good. Do I like it? No. Does it work? Yes. Does it actually fit my game? It's on the line. It's on the line, but it actually fits the purpose of my game. So I'm not that fussed about it. Because if I would have like different, very very different dialogue system, and if I was, you know, actually developing a visual novel, then yeah, I would say this is not ideal. It's still not ideal, but much better than anything else. It's an elegant solution to a problem, so I'm happy. I'm happy to work with that solution just now. And by doing this, I can actually make it kind of nice as well. It won't be really terrible. It won't look as terrible as I thought. So yeah, it's just okay. It's just okay. And I can make it actually nice by this. And I just need to add more of these strings, copying all these there. Then it just checks and plays. In the next stream, I'm gonna need to change the design of the widget because I have a large text and it just types into that small box, so I need to play with the width. And then I need to stop it, but hopefully by tracking the counter, I'm able to. I'm actually able to. For me, it's a bit interesting that the line counter. I'm actually checking the line counter, and the line counter doesn't add up to this at all, and I'm not sure why. But because I'm almost finished with the entire prologue thing, I soon gonna do a build and just basically I'm gonna remind myself of this to check in a build. But it does work. It's a solution that I'm happy with at this point. I'm just happy with. Because the rest of the stuff is actually really smart, I think. It's okay. So, yeah. But I don't think I'm gonna stream tomorrow. So tomorrow's stream is cancelled. I'm busy on Thursday. I actually busy on the Friday as well. I have a meeting. My stream afternoon like today, but I'm not sure. It's a good progression. I'm okay with that. And it actually, I was able to make it work at the end. So yeah, it's a win for me. Well, thanks for the subscriptions. Actually going to check, but I think I got a lot on this stream again. Like, you guys are so awesome because, yeah, yes, I actually got, what? Six subscriptions just on this stream. So yeah, definitely love you guys. If you don't know, this game actually has a Kickstarter landing page just now. It's in the description because soon I'm going to run a Kickstarter campaign for that. And if you are interested or want to support, just sign up and you'll be let know when the actual Kickstarter campaign starts. And if you pledge your support to me, there's a reward where you actually get the vertical slice I'm going to submit for uni for that pledge. That's the reward. And there's another one which basically gives you the full game later on when I release the full game around 2025, early the year, around the first quarter of the year, I think. So yeah, thanks again. It's been a really good stream, and I hope I see you guys later as well in the development. Thanks. See ya later.